their sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Tony back again. Welcome to the best shoot-em-ups of 2023. There's been quite a lot of shoot-em-ups that came out this year, so I've whittled down a list of 10, and I've got a couple of honourable mentions towards the end. But I've got 10 games. This is Trouble Witch's Final, which is supposedly the final version of this game. If you don't know, this originally was a PC game that ended up getting a 360 port, ended up getting an arcade port, come out on PC, come out on PS4, and various things. It was a 2D shoot 'em up. But this new version, they've rebalanced the game a bit, and they've turned it into a 3D shoot 'em up and added extra modes and stuff, and it's very nice indeed. This list does have a few re-releases of games on here, but it's very nice indeed. This is a late entry for me into the games for this year. So you get the arcade mode, which is basically the standard mode on this. You get story mode, which is the same as arcade but more story. You get the Valpurgis night mode, which is like a crazy, really sort of hard mode. Score attacks, endless mode. You get the Trouble Witch's arcade mode. You get the proper arcade mode. You get practice mode, tutorials, rankings, and extra options. So we'll just go straight into it. I say this is a horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up with witches. A little bit like Cotton in some ways. There's lots of characters on this version, which I think it's got all the DLC characters. It may be missing one or two, I'm not entirely sure. So we're just going to go with the one I normally go with. In this game, you can fire normally. You've got a little familiar, which I've got like a sunfish that flies around with me at the fires. And then when you press a button, you can turn that your little familiar into a shield, which will make bullets go really slow. Every time you kill enemies as well, you've got to collect coins. You let go of fire, and the coins like zoom into you. Coins are really important because you'll need them for buying extra weapons, extra lives, and various things in the store. You can also buy a power-up that makes this shield last longer. You see the counter going down on the top. Once that counter goes down, the shield disappears. When you're in the shop, you can touch up the girl in the shop, but she gets a bit annoyed and chucks you out after a while. Another witch comes on and basically chucks you out the shop, which is quite funny. You can pick up various weapons. You can also pick up an item to make your shield last longer and extra lives. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. We'll just go with 2 for now. The extra weapons are important to obviously killing enemies faster and important to actual scoring as well. So when you block the bullets, you get coins out of them. Some bullets won't get blocked. They will slowly move through. After they've been in your shield for a while, you can let go of the shield and they turn yellow and then they zoom in on you. And if you tap the shield again, the bullets then will turn into extra coins. They've done a really nice job on this, turning the backgrounds into 3D. I've used a special weapon now, so what happens with the special weapons is you not only get coins for killing enemies, you get the special coins. And that goes towards your scoring as well. So the weapons are basically part of the scoring. The same as the using the shield to block everything. And then cancel everything for higher coins. So there's quite a lot to this game. I don't know what they are. I don't know whether I should collect them or not. Another nice feature of this one is when you use your shield to get into a shop, and your shield gets low when you enter the shop, when you come back out, it basically refills your shield bar, as you'll see in a minute. So I'm going to pick that one, and I'm going to go for that one. As you see, my shield bar is full again now. That's pretty nice, that is. So you can see a lot of cancelling going on now. Right, so I'm going to cancel my shield and then charge back up. Here we get the first boss. I say I've been playing this game for a long time. I think it came out early 2000s maybe. I'd have to look it up on PC. So it's quite an old game that's been around for a while. But this new 3D remake of it is really nice. I say you can pick up the other ones for really cheap, and they're still well worth playing. But if you can, get the latest version. I say this is supposedly going to be the final version, so I hope it is, because they've re-released this game loads now. But what I'm going to do is, you really want to be using your special weapons for getting coins. But I'm going to use it on the boss. You don't really need it for this boss, to be honest, but as you'll see, not all bullets get blocked and cancelled by your shield. Some bullets will fly through, and later on as well, you'll get more and more bullets that'll actually hit through your shield. Some of them don't even get slowed down. So that's the first boss. I say this is a really good game. I've been coming back to this game for years. Like, it's a little bit like Cotton, but it's got a little bit more to it than the original Cotton. Like, it's amazing for a PC game that actually did end up getting an arcade release. This level on the original ones it didn't look that great. I think the forest level looked a bit bland, but this new 3D remake of the forest level, they've really tarted it up. You know, multiple layers of background and various other stuff that goes on. It's like the same with all the backgrounds, to be honest, but they've definitely tarted it up a fair amount on you. This level looks a hell of a lot nicer than it used to. You want to try and get as many of those special coins as possible. Just about managed to get in the shop when my energy run out. So, what I find is a good weapon for this one is that. And we'll get that just for the hell of it. So, you need to conserve your shield, you need to conserve your special weapons. The same with getting coins and stuff. You just got to know the moment essentially for the best scoring. Just get the best amount of special coins. I say your money and your points go way up with the special coins. I'm gonna use another one now. So they've added they balanced this quite nicely, and I'm sure they've added a few more specials. I don't remember that special on the original. It might be there, I'm not sure. So back in here, like say, if you've got enough coins, sometimes you'll get the basically the life up and the extra time for your shield. Same when you buy your extra weapons. You have to be a little bit tactical with weapons. I'm just buying them willy-nilly at the moment, but you have to be quite tactical with the weapons. Especially on later levels. This game can get pretty tough on later levels. Involve you cancelling a lot of bullets. But anyway, I won't make it too long, guys. That's Trouble Witch's final. Definitely well worth picking up, and definitely one of the best maps that got released this year. Like I said, this is a late entry into it, so I haven't played it a huge amount. I have managed to 1 CC at mine, but I'm pretty good at the original one anyway, so it wasn't too difficult for me to do, even though that there's obviously a lot higher levels, and they've got that that special mode was really difficult. Like if I show you that quickly, I go back. That's gonna this mode is going to take a bit of a challenge. I'll just go with the original character. This mode's fun though. A lot of bullet cancelling, so you're going to have to be using your shield and your special weapons properly. As you can see, there's a lot more bullets and they're not getting cancelled. Like, see, they turn yellow. You can use that then to get extra points. They're almost like revenge bullets in some ways. And I expect later on this one's gonna go really crazy. The decoy is quite handy actually. So in this one you've got a lot of stuff going on. Get those star points in. nice. I say this game can get incredibly busy. But anyway, guys, that's Trouble Witch's final, and we'll move on to the next game. Right, guys, now we've got DoDonPachi, Daioujou. This is the Blisssfull Death reincarnation version, which has just been released by M2. Came out in, I think it was like a 12th of December, something like that. Japanese only at the moment. Whether they'll do a Western release, who knows? Probably not. So this is a brand new release of the arcade game with load of extra features. So this is pretty much going to end up being the best version of the game. You've got the arcade mode up here, the original arcade mode. You've got 2 different soundtracks as well. So you can have the normal standard arcade soundtrack, which is mono. You can have a stereo version of the soundtrack, which sounds really good. And there's a new soundtrack, which I'm not overly fussed on, but I have sort of got used to it a little bit. Easy mode, you've got the arranged modes. This is like the meat of the new versions essentially, and you've got some old modes. You've got apparently like a Western release of DoDonPachi 3, which is what this game is essentially. But I don't think it ever got a European release. It's the same game, it's just slightly different difficulty, a few little changes here and there, but called DoDonPachi 3. And you've got I'm not sure whether this is the 360 version, because you can choose old or new. So I'm not entirely sure what version that is. Without being able to read Japanese, I couldn't really tell you, unfortunately. So I will show you one or 2 modes. So if I have a quick look on, you've got the original arcade mode, which is the original arcade mode. You've got a arcade challenge mode. If I go back out of that, sorry. You've got arcade challenge mode. What this does, this allows you to play sections of the level. You can pick a ship you want. You can play sections of the level over and over till you clear them and get a score. You can play an entire stage. You can play different areas within games. You can play the bosses, all stages, all bosses. It's basically a way of, and like you can on round 2 you can play Hibachi, and whatever. It's basically a way of getting you to learn the game, a clever way of doing it, and giving you a little bit of a challenge at the same time, which is quite nice. I quite like that. You've got the Asari mode as well, which is quite similar in some ways to that mode, but in this one you've got a small section and you've got to try and get your best score to get goals, I think it is. Yeah, it is. Look. You get your goals or whatever in each little section as you go through, and you can work your way through them, and there's lots of little challenges. So that's quite nice. It's good they've added that. There's a Lunar Tour. This is now the easy version. The Lunar Tour is basically pick a casual lunar arranged. You do various things, and you get like stamps and various things like that on you. I haven't really played around with this mode too much. You've got your super easy mode, which is pretty much a super easy mode, but it does show you where all the bees are to collect it, and you can do the 2 loops on here as well. I haven't actually played the super easy mode as yet. Then you've got what I've literally been playing on this. I'll show you these 3 modes basically. We'll go through them one by one. So this mode is basically the arcade mode. All these arranged modes have got cancelling going on. So basically, if you've got loads of bullets on screen, you shoot certain enemies, it'll cancel all the bullets on screen. They've added that to this game, which is really nice. And this actually makes this game a little bit more fun in some ways, as much as I love the original as well. So in this version, you basically you're in always hyper mode. It's a little bit easy. So this is like an easier version of the level, but you're always in hyper mode. So there's no bombs, and you've just basically got to finish one loop and the last boss, and that's it, you're done in hyper mode. This mode ain't particularly too hard because the difficulty has been cut down quite a bit. But it is a fun mode, especially with the cancelling. In fact, I'm liking the cancelling on this game a lot. So like I say, you're always in a hyper mode. I say if you haven't played this game in the arcades, go and play it if you can, or play it on MAME, or buy the. I don't think it came out on the 360 Obviously that's probably not worth buying actually, because it'd be expensive. But yeah, play it on MIM, check it out. It is a classic arcade game. I'm not particularly that great at it because to get high scores there's a lot of chaining and stuff you could do in the normal. If you play the normal game, there's a chain meter you can chain through the levels. I'm not very good at doing it. In fact, I haven't really tried doing it. There's 2 loops on this game as well, and the secret boss BatsuGun. Very hard to do it in 2 loops. There's 2 versions of this game as well. There's a white and a black label. The white label is essentially the standard arcade one that is a little bit harder than the black label. The Caves tended to do that with their games. They did like black label versions, which were slight sort of reimagining of the original one. So they would tweak the levels a little bit and tweak bosses, tweak the difficulty and change the little things around here and there. Just the improvements essentially. But white label is considered to be the harder version. Both no pushover, to be honest. So that's that version. So if I go back to my direct menu and I'll do this one and I'll change it to the other soundtrack. And we'll do the L version now. So the difficulty's back to normal on this version. You haven't got continuous hypers. But you do start off pretty powered up. This is also a fun mode to play through. I think, to be honest, the two previous these 2 modes, so I'm showing I was building you up to the EX one. I say once you've got a bit of practice on this game, this mode's not too bad to finish. It is easier than playing the original arcade one because you've got the cancels. Hyper on this. You can collect multiple hypers to stay in the hyper. You hyper for longer as well to get extra points. So even though the game looks quite similar, there are quite a bit of changes in this one. Say I haven't had huge amount of time on this version. I played it a bit. I streamed it for a bit. I did manage to 1cc all 3 arranged modes. I was really lucky on the AX one, but I no chance of 1cc in the original arcade one. That's a whole new beast altogether, especially doing 2 loops. Plus the arranged modes are only a single loop, so they are a bit easier in that respect as well. This one you got your bombs back as well. I've already bought this game on various versions over the years. I got the PGM cartridge, which is practically the arcade one. Got it on the 360. Got it on the PS2. PS2 version is also very fantastic. If you've got a PS2 and you've got it modded or whatever, you can check that out. PS2 version is very, very good. See, there's a lot more bullets now. So that's that version. And then, so if we go back to the track menu and the EX Range version, this is where it's at on this collection. Apart from obviously the original arcade one. But apart from the original arcade one, this is the super fun mode. I'm glad Cave did actually add extra modes. Now this one is on Loop 2 difficulty. You powered up quite a bit from the start. You've got your hypers, you've got your bombs, and you've got all the cancels in the game as well. So as you can see, there's a lot more bullets going on. I was very lucky when I 1cc this on the stream. I only just about did it as well. I was on Hibachi and I had no lives left. And I just managed to kill it. I'm doing a terrible job with it. You get the idea, this is like a much harder version. But the cancels are beautiful on this, I gotta admit. The way they put them in here, especially on the later levels, and how the cancelling works on this, it's really good. do have auto bombs as well, and you do have your normal bombs. I've been playing this on a joystick, so it's a bit harder to play on the pad. No, there's no problems playing on the pad, it's just obviously it's a little bit harder. So you get the idea, a lot harder, there's a lot more going on, there's a lot more bullets, and you've got the big cancels. So if we go back, so I'll run through some of the normal modes. I'll just show you the visual arcade mode then. So this would be basically your, I think this is Black Label. I'm pretty sure it is. It doesn't really give you the option. Like if I pause it, I don't think it gives you the option to figure out which mode you want to play. You have to get a translation out basically to see this. You've got the M2 gadgets, you've got the sound on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Black Label. This came out years and years ago on the PS2, and the PS2 version is very, very good. Especially for the time it came out. So this would be your visual arcade mode essentially. This is what everyone's going to be buying this game for. This is probably one of Cave's most famous games, if maybe their most famous game to be honest. I don't think it's their hardest game. I think probably Ketsui is probably their hardest game. But then again, maybe Ushisama Futura on the hardest mode. But with some practice, you know, if you're pretty good to shoot ups with some practice, you'll start getting through this quite a bit. It is going to take a lot of practice to finish it, mate. More than I've got. See, there's a lot less bullets on the first stage than the EX mode. I know Jamers has finished the EX mode without losing a life, which is a bit insane. Especially doing a Bachi as well. I've seen this video of it. It's just like, I died about 3-4 times on the Bachi. He just literally did it without dying. Guy's a machine, that's all I can say. So even though this hasn't been out for long, this is definitely one of the best shoot maps that got released this year. And there's going to be a lot of people playing this for quite a lot of years to come. And essentially with all the extra modes, the original arcade mode, it is essentially the best version of this game. M2 do a damn good job when it comes to that. Minimal input lag as well, which is very good. Like all the gadgets, they say the easy mode does show you where the bees are. It's just the new soundtrack is quite good. The original soundtrack is just, I don't know, it's just such a classic. It's hard to sort of recommend it over the original soundtrack. See, this game does get busy, especially from level 3. Like most cave games, as soon as you hit level 3, it's like hitting a wall when you first play it. But with practice, it can be done. Not by me though. Special extra scoring over there. But anyway guys, that's DoDonPachi, Daioujou, Blisssfull Death Reincarnation. Fair name, I'll give it that. Yeah, if you're on the fence about picking this up, if you like the look of it, go ahead and pick it up. I definitely recommend it. It's very good. Definitely one of the best games that well, one of the best shoot maps that's come out this year. And with all the extra modes, there's a lot to go back to and a lot to practice. I'll be playing it a lot more on the cab, like, cause I got it set up in the cab, which is very nice. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next game. Right, here's the next game. This is Rayz Arcade Chronology. This is an M2 release of 3 arcade games all in one collection. So we'll start it. So what you get in this collection, you get Rayforce, which is a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. You get Raystorm and Ray Crisis, which are sort of like pseudo 3D vertical scrolling shoot 'em ups. All arcade releases. These have had Rayforce is pretty much just exactly like the arcade one, but Raystorm and Ray Crisis were 3D in the arcades, so they've had all their 3D updated to 1080p. They've had all the smoothing done on them. They look really nice. You can still play them in their original 480p. I think they run a 480p in the arcade modes. I could be wrong about the 480p. I'm not quite sure. Being an M2 collection, you get your replay galleries. You get all your gadgets and everything, and various options you can change into the games. So this thing will boot up like an arcade game, because essentially it's an arcade game. So we're in. So let's start this up. So you got all the nice gadgets at the side to tell you what's going on. Right, the thing with the Ray games is you got your normal firing as you would do on any other normal shoot 'em up. But you've also got a lock-on laser, so things in the background you can lock onto and fire and blow up, which is quite a big mechanic in these games. You will need to do this a lot. Bosses will sometimes zoom out into the background, or there's bits of you can blow off, and then you'll have to use your normal fire to blow them up. It's a really nice game this is. It did get a home conversion on the Saturn. I'm not sure if there was a PlayStation version. There might have been, I'm not entirely sure. But I used to have the Saturn version of this back in the day, so it's a very good conversion. Comes with its own slightly modified Saturn modes as well. I say this is a collection of purely the arcade versions. As if you're interested in these games, I would say this is well worth picking up. I've really enjoyed this since I picked it up. Came out in the summer it did. It's a nice collection, there's a lot going for it. The Ray Crisis game, for some reason I've never actually played the Ray Crisis game. Back in the day, for some reason, I don't know why, I must have just missed that one. So that was quite a nice surprise on this collection, because I've never actually played it before. There's some interesting things with the backgrounds on this, where some levels you can blow bits of the background up and they go crash into the floor. Which is, they've used quite a bit for one of the bosses. These games also got quite nice music as well. Like I say, you can target this boss, it doesn't really hurt you by ear, but as I die, targeting. Yeah, you can target the main section, or you can blow the arms off as well. Well, I was ready for that then, but I didn't move in time. I say this game has got some very nice levels. Like I say, they can be learnt. You can once you see it. I've seen a really nice pacifist run on this, where literally he doesn't shoot anything, unless there's one or two things he has to shoot to get past, but a lot of stuff you can actually dodge in this, you don't actually need to shoot it. It was a pretty good run, so that's a good one basically for us to go to the next game. So if I go back to the main menu, so that's the first game of the stage. It is a bit of a classic shoot 'em up, this is. I would probably say that Rayforce probably is the best game on this collection. Not to say that Raystorm or Ray Crisis are not very good. So basically what you get the option here is to play the original arcade version. So I think I'll show you the original arcade version of this. As I'm pretty sure these are horizontal screen, not vertical screen for the 3D ones. Yeah, they are, sorry. Not vertical. So it's pretty much the same type of game. You've still got the lock-on system. And you've got a bomb as well. There's a weird bug in this game. At least I think it's a bug. If you set your buttons, you can press 2 buttons together to use your bomb in the arcade. And if you use the auto fire on this, and you press the other button, randomly every now and then, it'll set the bomb off, which is a little bit annoying. There is some sort of warning about it in the menus. Same with Ray Crisis, it's exactly the same. Seems like a bit of a bug to me, but I don't know. I think every now and then the auto fire just randomly sets the bombs off. Because you're pressing two buttons at the same time. So that's basically how the arcade ones actually look. So if I go back to the main menu, then I'll show you the same with Ray Crisis, the same deal. You've got the old arcade version, and you've got the updated one. So these have had quite a nice upscale to 1080p, and they've had the graphics cleaned up quite a bit. This is also on the PlayStation as well as the Sun. There's a PlayStation I played it on back in the day, and I'm pretty sure the board it runs on is pretty much the PlayStation board, or very similar to the PlayStation board, I believe. So you can see these are a lot cleaner looking. There's no wobbling textures. You've got a nice 1080p. Nice games these are as well, to be honest. So there was a very nice PlayStation version of this back in the day as well. You also got like arranged music and stuff as well, which is good. I will say that M2's releases of all these old classics, shot trigger stuff is pretty amazing. I know they do cost quite a bit compared to like arcade archives, where you're paying like 30-40 quid for the game instead of paying like 6 quid, but M2 do put the effort in. I'll give them that. You're paying for that effort essentially. As I get blown up, I'll use the bomb. Got some interesting bosses in this game as well, because a lot of the bosses tend to be in the background. It'll take you a little bit to figure out where's the best place is to actually shoot them. Like this one, you can just get right in there and kill the turret. I showed quickly the second level. So it's definitely a lot nicer looking. Old Gaul City. Is that France? Because France was called Gaul back in the day. So anyway, that's Ray Crisis. So we'll cancel that one and go back. Ray Storm, sorry, not Ray Crisis. And this is Ray Crisis. This is one that, like I said, for some reason, same deal, you know, original. For some reason, I ignored that it came out. This one is a little bit different to the first one. They've added a few more stuff to it. I don't know whether I like it as much. Kept do your name or whatever to start off as well. A couple of different ships on here, same as on the other one. So we'll just pick that one. The level set out in this game is a little bit different as well. I mean, you can go through different levels at the start. Reminds me like a bit more like because of the lines over it, like you're playing a simulation. Maybe that's what they're thinking with this game. It's quite interesting to play this one because I never played it back in the day. I'd say this one is harder than Ray Storm as well, I would say. Same deal as well, you've got a smart bomb, it randomly goes off now and then. They're also a pretty nice looking arcade. I've never seen this in the arcade. I've seen the other two, but I've never seen this one. I don't know whether this got a UK release. I don't think it did, but different style of music on this one. It reminds me of something else that tune does. I just can't think what. The girl from it's a song called Girl From Somewhere. I think it sounds very much like that. What's it called? Girl From... I can't think where. Acapulco maybe? They definitely lifted that from our song. Well, may not be the girl from Acapulco, but the girl from somewhere. Once you hear it, you just can't help it. You can't help hearing that song. So that's Ray Crisis. So there's a lot to jump through in these games as well. Big bosses, you know, all the sort of stuff with the other ones. So we'll pause it. So that's the Rayz arcade chronology. Definitely well worth picking up, and there's a lot of gameplay here as well, and there's a lot to give them back to if you want to try and one credit all three games as well. And it's a really nice M2 compilation basically. So we'll move on to the next game. Here we go, guys. This is the next game. This is Savant Ascent Remix. This is a twin stick shooter on the PC. I don't think it's come out on anything else. You basically got a guy who looks a little bit like Guy Fawkes. He's ascending a tower, and you've got to shoot all the enemies around you. It's a really good game. This is it's really fun. It's got some pretty awesome music as well. This is a remix version of the original Savant Ascent. The original version was like a £4 or £3 PC game, which was quite fun. I liked it, but this version just redoes the entire game. It is loads better than the original version, and if you own the original version, they give you the second version free. So you can't argue with that. This is a massive upgrade to the original. So yeah, you've got two modes. You've got survival, which is just literally just one life, and you've got to try and last as long as you can, or you've got story mode. So we're going to get story mode. They've been adding features to this since they released it a few months ago. So obviously the original game's coming soon. You've got the remix one, and there's the Owl Boy DLC. So you got easy, normal, and hard. I'm going to check it on easy because this game is not easy. Bosses have got big patterns and stuff you've got to learn, and timing. It's a pretty nuts game. Once you've done the levels, you can go back to them and go through them for practice, which is very good. And you can unlock music tracks in those levels. So we're going to start from the beginning. So you basically got to ascend this huge tower and get to the top. So you got your left stick, which is your aim. And you fire in this game by literally just pushing a direction. And when you stop pushing that direction, you get like a slight charge to your weapon, or you can just hold it and then go around in a circle. Those chests you collect, you get a little sort of I don't know, like shards of a CD, and they also cancel all enemies on screen. So you've got to press the X button. The power shot I'm doing, which is what you'll see at the bottom, it gives you 3 shots when it's at full power. And you can use it to wipe multiple enemies out at once. Sounds like a lot, 3 shots, but no. This game gets really hectic. You can move left and right, which is your only movement in this game essentially when it comes to platforms you can stand on. But then you can jump. On this one you've got multiple jumps, and you will need to use it to dodge bullets. You also get a multiplier, as you see, a hit multiplier. The more enemies you kill without actually dying, you get a higher multiplier going. As you can see, the platforms now are all uneven, so they're not just flat. I think this is about £9 on PC. It is basically a proper twin stick shooter with some crazy bosses. So a lot of the time you want to be basically doing that extra charge by letting go in the joystick. So you let go into neutral position. See, I got a hit multiplier going now. Ah, I got it. Lost my multiplier. So this is super fun. It takes a little bit to get your head round it as well. Okay, my hit multiplier going up as I get hit, so as I say it. I say there is no real way of playing this without twin sticks, essentially. And the chest, once you kill the chest, they do sort of eliminate everything on screen. These things as well, you can do the charge move, but if you do the burst fire, it knocks them back. Or destroys them, depending how far you are. The shields also give you energy back as well. I say it's a pretty mad game. There we go. I'm ascending into the boss now. I'll show you the first boss. They've added these really nice transitions as well in between things that really sort of set this game out. What I found with this boss is you can use your charge shot quite a bit. Looks pretty easy so far, but don't be fooled. It's not dead yet. This is only phase 1. The bosses get super complicated as well. Right then, here we go, now it gets harder. So basically, wherever that guy is, I've got to move. And then he drops that block that eventually will kill me, so I gotta jump. Move. Shoot that block. Do the double jump. Almost dead. and that's the first boss. The first boss is reasonably easy as well. You will take a little bit of figuring out the first time you get to it. The last boss is nuts. You got multiple phases. There's different things in each phases. There's a lot of stuff going on. Nice little transition phase you get. Good use of music compared to the original's got really good music as well, but they really nailed it with the second game. So, without getting too far, that is Savant Ascent remix. PC only, as far as I know. I don't think it's come out in anything else. I would definitely suggest pick this up. It's really good. It's a really fun game, but it is a challenge, especially on the harder difficulty levels. It's a massive challenge, but really cool game this is. So that's that one. So we'll move on to the next game. Right guys, here's the next game. This is Graze counter GM. This is it was originally a PC shmup. This is a vertical scrolling or tate mode bullet hell shooter. It's a really nice game. This is actually, it came out in January on the PC, but now you can get it on PS4 and Switch. There may be an Xbox version, but I haven't got an Xbox, so I couldn't check. So you get a couple of modes to play in this. You get the normal game mode, you get a mission mode where you got small little missions to play through, and archive mode is basically your replays and things like that. And once you've beaten the game, you unlock the extra mode. I can't remember what's in the extra mode, so we'll skip that one for now. So you've got a couple of versions of the game. You've got the standard version and you've got the unlimited version. This is basically the original game with all the new features, because this is an update to an older game. It's not a sequel, it's an update. And then you've got the unlimited mode. The unlimited mode gives you suicide bullets. So basically, when enemies die, they end up spawning bullets, and then it gives you extra options like a pacifist mode, so you can try and beat the game without even firing a shot, which would be a bit nuts. So I'm going to show you the standard mode first. So you get 2 ships to start with, but the more you play through the game, you start unlocking ships. When you pick a ship, you can add a skill card. So like your auto shield, break mode or booster. That's basically your like hyper mode. And then you got the safety system and it gives you a shield, but we're going to go with auto shield. And you've got 4 difficulty levels: novice, extreme, normal, hard, extreme. And if you push up, you can activate a pacifist mode, which is basically no shots. So the idea in this game is when you fire, you basically don't build up any bar. You got the 2 bars, bottom left and right. On the bottom left bar allows you to use this beam. So what happens is when you got a Graze bullet, which then fills that bar up. And then when the bar gets to full, you can use it to kill enemies and cancel bullets. The caveat to that as well, you also in multipliers, you'll see top right, that multiplier goes up when you're scraping bullets. So you'll notice you can go up to 1,000, and then on 1,000 you get the biggest bonus you can get from all the medals, like the star medals, Fallout. The other thing you can do off that bar as well is once you keep using that beam, you fill up your break bar, which is on the bottom right hand side. That break bar allows you to use the break mode, which I'll use now, which initially cancels the bullets on screen, but then allows you to basically drag huge amount of medals out of bosses and enemies. So you want to be using your normal counter a lot to fill that break mode. If if you get in the middle of the power-ups, you can basically tap down and you can get all 3 power-ups at once. So boss is coming up. Once you beat the bosses, you can use them as you can use them as your ship as well. So I'm just going to scrape bullets at the moment. And then once this comes down to you can use your beam to counter his beam, and then you get all those extra medals. And that's what burst mode does. It basically drags all those stars out of those enemies. I ruined him then, basically. Say this game is super fun. This mode, it's not too hard to finish. You'll probably finish in your first couple of goes, and novice is really easy. But once you start putting this game on the higher levels, that's when it starts getting really interesting, and then it starts becoming a balancing act between using your Graze counter beam or your break mode, and then charging your Graze counter back up, and that's how you survive the huge amount of bullets that are on this game. This game can get pretty nuts, especially on the higher levels. Oh, I didn't stay in the middle of it. So basically you always want to be scraping those bullets as best as you can to get that multiplier up as high as possible. And I've almost got my break bar fill back up now. So you can really, once you get that break going, you can really score a load of points. Plus if you use your beam while in break, it cancels out to your break mode. So I'm going to pause it there, guys. I'm going to show you the other mode. So you get the idea. So it's a really fun game, especially with the balancing act on higher difficulties. So we'll choose the unlimited mode, which is the new mode essentially in this game. We'll pick the second player. We'll go auto shield, but this time we'll go to extreme difficulty. So now I'm going to get green suicide bullets. Once I'm killing enemies, you watch how nuts this game gets, even on the first level. So now you really got to be using that meter. So those green bullets are suicide bullets coming off the enemies. I've never finished this mode. Or extreme. Very difficult. Yeah, I'm fantastic at this mode. You get the idea. When you play on the really hard difficulty, it's all about getting that beam, using the beam then to basically power up your burst mode, using your burst to cancel bullets, and then scraping all the bullets to get all your beams and your resources back. Really fun game. Like I said, it's not an expensive game on PS4. I think it's currently in the sale for about £6, and I believe I only paid like £9 for it on the PC when it first came out. But yeah, as far as I don't think there's any differences between the PC and the console versions. I think they're pretty much the same. But a very nice shoot 'em up indeed, and definitely one of the best shoot 'em ups that come out this year. So we'll leave it there and we'll go on to the next game. Well then guys, the next game is Kaikan. This is a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up by Zakichi. This is Zakichi's first retail game. All his other games are free. If you check out my Games of Zakichi video, You will see all the games, and there's links to where you can download them all.
Ready.
Right then, so explain. I did review this game when I was doing that video, but what we'll do is, let's do my replay. We don't want to do that. We'll get into it. So, you've got your normal mode, you've got practice modes, which is very nice. These unlock as you play the game. So we're going to do normal game. In this upgraded version for Steam, you get more ships. You get napalm type, wide shot, homing shot, fire shot, blast shot, and ball shot. I really like the blast shot. So there's two ways of firing in this game. There is slow mode as well. So if you hold down a button, you can do slow movements, and that concentrates your fire as well. As you see, all these medals are coming down screen when I'm killing things. If you let go of fire, the medals get drawn into you. But if you press fire again before you get them all, they turn grey and they're not worth as much. You just seen then, which was a bonus medal that was on the floor. They're all over this game, and they get higher and higher bonuses when you find them. So scoring in this game is basically getting these medals, many of these medals as possible. And what you'll see in a minute is you can make those medals bigger and worth more points, which I'll do by you now. I sort of wasted that bomb really. Well, the idea is you bomb, and then you make the tiles, the medals bigger, and then the medals are worth more points. So you want to be using your bomb. The offshoot of that is risk and reward. Your bomb can also act as a shield in this game, a one-hit shield. But what you want to be doing is using your bomb to get the extra tiles. To get your bomb back, you've got to collect loads of tiles. So if you do it right and get the big tiles worth a lot of points, you'll get a bomb back instant. So now the tiles are worth loads, and I'm probably not far off again the bomb back again. Our bar basically on the left hand side needs to fill up. That's my counter bar on the right hand side. That goes to the end of my multiplayer essentially. My multiplier, sorry. Right, I've got my bomb back. Bosses in this game as well, you can you get a time bonus for killing them quick. They've also got something called boss medals. So if you kill a boss when they fire in loads on screen, each one of those bullets turns into a bonus boss medal. So you've basically got to work out the best time to actually kill a boss to get the most medals out of a boss as a bonus. Like I say, you can concentrate your firing by doing the slowdown as well, which makes your firing really powerful. So I'm going to try and get some medals out of this boss. So I'm going to concentrate my firing and get him down pretty far. That's it, he got him anyway. So all these bullets on screen when I actually killed him, I messed it up a little bit, all turned into boss medals, which gives you a big bonus towards the end of the game then. You also get a bonus for not getting hit. But even if you don't die, if you get hit when you've got your bomb, which acts as a shield, you will lose that no-hit bonus. I say you need to move around a lot in this game because you need to find the medals on the floor as well. There's also secret extra lives to be had on the floor, but half the time I'm not quite sure where they are. Got a bomber there flying around. I'm going to keep my bomb for when loads come on screen. This game can get quite addictive with the scoring. I've lost my bomb. That's a shame. There's loads of enemies coming on here. And there's a good chance of scoring high then. Oh, I got another bomb. So this is a fantastic game. It's very, very good. So the free version's excellent as well, but this paid version has a lot of extras. New complete soundtrack, game balancing, true last boss, and various other sort of tweaks. Oh, now my medals are huge. Now you're scoring, basically. I haven't managed to 1 CCA yet. The true last boss is quite tricky. But I need to do some practice on it. Nice medal on the floor. Right, boss coming up. I'll try and get some boss medals out of it. I'm going to try and do something I don't normally do. That works. I'm going to wait for loads of stuff to come on screen now. Which I messed up. I say this is what goes to sort of learning the boss patterns and knowing the best time to actually finish them off. So this is a really fun game. So anyway, guys, that's Kaikan. So that is it's a £4 game on Steam essentially, which can't fault. It's very, very good for the money, and it's definitely up there with the best games in this list. Very good game indeed. So we'll leave it there. We'll go on to the next game now. Right then, next game is Star Gagnant. This is a Switch exclusive by Terrian Games, who did the Raging Blasters and Missile Dancers 1 and 2 and various other games. His games are very good indeed. They're mainly vertical shooters. He did do a horizontal one, but they're mainly vertical shooters. Graphic-wise, they don't tend to look that great, but they definitely make up in mechanics and gameplay and everything. Say this game was made under Takahashi Meijin. His name is all over this. Takahashi Meijin was a guy who worked for Hudson Soft back in the day. He was a promoter for Hudson Soft. He ran the Caravan tournaments in Japan in the 80s and early 90s, I think it was. The Caravan tournaments where they travelled in the summer, they travelled around Japan and they had scoring tournaments in Caravan modes, which are like a short couple of minute modes in games. And basically the best players in Japan there got promoted and everything. It was a big promotion thing for Hudson Soft, and Takahashi Meijin ran it. The Adventure Island games, basically the main character is Takahashi Meijin. And he was very famous for being able to press 16 button pressures a second on a joystick for the NES to kill certain enemies in Star Force, which you need to do it. And this game evolves around no water fire essentially. Well, there is some sort of water fire, but to get really high-powered firing, you've got to tap the button really fast. This game is very, very good. So we'll start it. You've got obviously online rankings and various things like that. So you've got a couple of modes. You've got the arcade mode, which is basically just like your standard arcade mode tutorial. Caravan, which is your 2-minute mode. The Caravan modes, you think a 2-minute game is it's a big crap. It could last you all day. Once you get hooked on trying to get a score on those things, it's crazy. There's a challenge mode and there's an auto fire mode, but we are going to do the arcade mode. There's your difficulty levels, and once you've completed on hard, you unlock the Meijin level. Right, so let's go for it. All Tarian's games have all got similar techniques. So you've got a chain for killing enemies, as you'll notice at the top. See the chain bar going up, and then the longer you don't kill enemies, the chain will go back down to 0. You've got the power-ups, which I'm collecting wide, which basically powers my main shot up. If I hold down the button for auto fire, you get your standard sort of Star Soldier type firing. And then if I press, the faster I press the button, different colours it'll do, and if I press it really fast, it'll go blue, and that's your highest power. So in this game, you've got to tap the button a lot. A lot of people give this. They were complaining about the fact that you had to tap the button a lot, but it makes it interesting, and I can see why I didn't, because I was Takahashi Meijin's thing in the Caravan tournaments. Another little sort of fact about Takahashi was he was the guy that came up with the autofire circuit for the PC Engine pads, apparently, which I never knew till I read a PC Engine book I got. So what I'm collecting here is you got special power. Once you tap the button fast, the special goes down, and then once that gets to 0, it will stop you using the fast firing unless you pick up a special bonus item, or you basically let go of fire like I'm doing now and it'll charge back up, or you hold down the auto fire and it'll charge back up. The other item you can pick up is a shield, which is very useful. As in all these games, you've got lots of stuff on the background to shoot. There's also enemies, as you've seen, where you've got to shoot them before they join up, or you get a certain time bonus for killing them. There's also little tiles somewhere, secret tiles you can find, and shoot them for a bonus, and they go up and up and up. Same with the caravan mode. Here's my shield. Also then, you obviously keep your multiplier going. Gives you extra points, and you get these enemies. If I shot both of them at the same time then, I would have had a bonus for it. And you get a time bonus for killing the bosses fast as well. And a lot of his games do have all those features. There's also a speed up in this. You can make the ship go faster if you want. So the closer you get to this, I've got a little bit too close then. And the faster I'm firing, the quicker I'm going to kill this for a bonus. And each level has got its own little things you can shoot for, like, you know, shooting double bonus, killing things at the same time, killing things faster. It all add up to your score at the end, including how many lives you've got left at the end as well. Also becomes a score. I'll show you a little bit of the second level. I say this is a Switch exclusive as well. It's not out in any other console. Terran games normally come out on the PC, and then they get converted to the Switch and get graphic upgrades and extra sort of, like, they get a little bit more refined. So the Switch versions essentially are better than the PC versions, but that usually comes like 6 months or ever so later. So I've ended up buying the Switch versions as well as the PC versions. His game's also got really fun music as well. And they've got also 2 versions of the music. They've got a chiptune version, which may be on at the moment, I think. And then there's a like a normal version of the music as well. The chiptune ones are normally very good as well. So that's the main game and all the extra bits to go with it. So we'll cancel out of that. We'll go to options, and it might be on chiptunes. Yeah, it is. So if I change it to original music, you got the original graphics as well, or you got retro graphics on this one, so you can have a more of an 8-bit look. And I think the 8-bit look looks really nice. In fact, I'll change it to the 8-bit look. And we're going to play the caravan mode, so you get 2 minutes, score as much as possible. So you can play looking like an 8-bit game. I say these modes become super addictive. You can literally play these modes all day. Once you start getting into scoring, if you're in competition with somebody as well for scoring on these, that's it. Forget your life, that's all I can say. It may be 2 minutes, but you can get so much enjoyment out of these for your 2 minutes. I say this has also got lots of tiles to shoot, enemies at the same time, kill enemies quicker, kill the boss quicker, gets points. Also in this mode as well, the faster you kill the enemies, the faster new enemies come on screen as well. So the faster you can knock them out, the more points you'll get as well. And obviously the faster you're firing, as I swap over to tap, the faster I get killed straight away. Yeah, couldn't kill that then, I didn't have the spread weapon. I think the two enemies are coming up, you get points for killing both of them at the same time. They're coming up sometime. There they are. So I got the special bonus for killing them. And there's a bonus tile. Each of the levels do have bonus tiles, and the more you collect, the bigger the bonus actually gets on the tiles. So I managed to set a score. You, like I said, you wouldn't believe how addictive these get actually trying to beat your scores. It's not a bad score to start. So yeah, that's Star Gagnant, guys. This is a really, really good game. Very brilliant. Like you'll just keep coming back to it, keep coming back to it. Like I said, it is Switch only, so you will need a Switch to play it. But if you've got a joystick for your Switch, you're in for a treat. Really good single player game, really good scoring mode. So check his other games out as well, like Raging Blasters and Missile Dancer 1 and 2, and a few of the others he's got, because they're well worth playing as well. And he's got a new one coming out, which I believe might be coming out in January. And this one looks a little bit like Galaxy Force 2. It's the first time he's done a game where you basically go in 3D. It looks really interesting, so I'm pretty much up for buying that when that comes out. So guys, that's that one. So we'll move on to the next game. Hello guys, this is the next game. This is Raiden 3 Mikado Maniax. This is a re-release of the original Raiden 3 arcade game with just basically high resolution assets and everything. And the thing with this game, as is the Mikado one, the Mikado's in-house band has basically redone all the music on you. Lucky enough, they do leave you with the original music and the chance of using their music tracks. At first, I think they in-house band and their music tracks are really good. I don't think they're as good as the original tracks, which I think the original music on Raiden 3, Raiden 4 is amazing. There's also a Raiden 4 version of this, which came out a couple of years ago, so they sort of released them arse backwards, which is just a bit weird. But yeah, this one pretty much allows you to pick whichever music track you've got. So if I go to like level 3, so this is like the original soundtrack. And then if I change it to the Mikado one, you get like a different soundtrack. Like I said, I don't think the original. I think the original soundtrack is better, but the Mikado soundtrack is growing on me. It's quite nice. It's quite nice to have the option to change between them. So I think the Mikado tracks are very good as well. Got no to that. So basically, what you get in here, you get your arcade game. You get a scoring mode, which is quite nice. There is a boss rush you can basically unlock. You've got solo play, dual play, so you play both players at the same time. You can do that. I think dual play is 2-player, and doubles is one or the other. Was they play either solo or team? Yeah, play either solo or team. So you can basically control both at the same time. You've got the world rankings, local rankings, replays and everything, BGM select, wallpaper select. This game has been around for a long time. There was a really nice PS2 release of this game as well. But this one the graphics are a lot nicer. Like basically they've redone anti-aliasing on the edges and stuff, and higher resolution, and it looks really nice, I think. This game is a classic as well. I do like Raiden 4 a lot as well, but I think Raiden 3 is better. Raiden 4 is very much like Raiden 3 essentially. It's more the same. But Raiden 5 is significantly different. Not as good as 3 or 4. So this is a basic vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. This was the first Raiden game to actually go 3D. And to be honest, Moss done a pretty fantastic job of it. they managed to recreate a lot of what Raiden did, but put it in 3D and it really works. Like the Raiden games as well, your main ship moves a little bit slow. I'm not sure whether the second player ship, like in the original Raiden 2 and Raiden, I think in Raiden 1 as well, if you choose the second player ship, it actually moves a bit faster. I think the left and right movement is a little bit faster. You get 3 weapon systems, you get the spread I just had, and you get this tough-based laser that goes back and forth, which is very powerful if you manage to get it sort of to lock on something. All these can be powered up multiple times as well. The spread weapon is probably the most useful weapon. You also get a like a blue beam weapon, which is the most powerful weapon in this game, but there's no spread in there essentially. So as we carry on playing this, I'll swap to the blue weapon as soon as I get a chance. The blue weapon is very good for bosses, which is coming up pretty soon. So I'm going to swap to the blue weapon. I said the easiest way to kill bosses in this game is with this weapon, but you sometimes get enemies coming in from the sides as well. See, that wrecked the boss, that blue weapon. You just have to take a counter. Sometimes you need to kill some enemies that pop in from the sides. Although this weapon is super powerful, you're better off having the spread weapon for the actual levels itself. See, the Raiden games are classics. Like this game has been around for so long. It is an arcade classic. So I'll show you a little bit of this level, and then we'll play with the Mikado music. I can remember how to change it now. Permanently change it. Say these were originally 480p, I believe. Say the Raiden games are balls hard, bloody bullet hell games, basically. Very fast bullets. They're more like Psycho games in some ways. Good idea where the music goes, and we'll swap it then to the Mikado one. He might be playing the Mikado music now, actually. I can't remember which is which. Anyway, that's Raiden, so we'll go back. Maybe so we can buy different wallpaper. So I didn't want to do that. Let's go back. So if I go to BGM, and then I change it custom BGM. So if I change it to custom, there's something called lightning strikes. So that's the Mikado BGM for it now. And then what I'll do, I'll go to level 2, and I'll change that to Mikado's level 2. And I'll save changes. So you can swap in and out the track. So if you prefer one Mikado track over the original track, you can swap them in and out. See, the title music's changed now as well. Like I said, the Mikado music it definitely grows on me. I think they did a better job on the soundtrack on this one. Not say the fourth's got a, because the fourth is the Mikado Maniax one as well. It is growing on me, the Mikado mix. So you can get this on PC now, you can get it on PS4, you can get it on the Switch. Probably on the Xbox as well, that's right. But it is quite nice to have a slightly different rearranged soundtrack. I'll try and keep this weapon for the boss, and I'll show you how much longer it takes to kill the boss. The little fairies you pick up there, and when you die, they spawn loads of power-ups, so you can power back quick. And they're literally all over the game. You've got to find where they are and shoot where they are, and they unlock them. Handy to pick up for when you actually lose your life. Power up a little bit better. See, this firing is weaker, but yeah, when you power up with the spread, it's really useful. Really useful, actually, to be honest. What I try to do mainly is tend to play the levels with this weapon, and then just before you get to a boss, I'll swap with the blue weapon. All you know is this is going to take me a lot longer to kill this boss. You can point blank the boss. A good effect with this weapon, but it can be a bit dangerous. Now it's going to get interesting. Now I'm not actually in the middle. Should have bombed then. But you can point blank him. So much easier it was with the blue weapon. Yeah, so ideally, spread weapon for the main levels. Swap to blue weapon just for the bosses. Here's the next Mikado track. Some like funk guitar going on. I think it's quite cool that Mikado's in-house band. Mikado, by the way, is a Japanese arcade. A really good Japanese arcade as well. It's cool that they got their own band and they play shows as well. I think they had something to do with a band who used to call themselves Heavy Metal Raiden. I think some of the members that are a part of the Mikado band, I think. I could be wrong in that, mind. You just get a slightly different alternative soundtrack. This is where the spread weapon comes into his own. Once you got powered up like this. Great for killing everything on the level. So guys, that is Raiden 3 Mikado Maniax. Like I said, it is a re-release of an old game, but it's a very nice re-release of an old game with a really nice soundtrack and much better updated visuals as well, especially if you play on a PS5 or a PC. The visuals look really nice. I'm pretty sure they're in 4K as well, but don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. It might be upscaled 1080p. I'm not entirely sure, but all I know they look damn nice. So this is a really good game, well worth picking up, and it's probably on sale at this moment in time as well. So right then, let's move on to the next game. Right guys, this is the next game. This is BatsuGun Exa Label, so this is the Exa arcade version. Lately BatsuGun has had a bit of a re-release. It originally got released on the Saturn years ago, and the Saturn version is very good. The Saturn version basically has got the normal game and the special game. Which in the arcade version there was a special version which was the last release, which had some game fixes and a few sort of changes and stuff. The special version is basically considered the best version. So yeah, it got released on consoles, PlayStation, it got released on PC and everything, and they added a new soundtrack and stuff to it. It's not a bad conversion, but does suffer a bit from a bit of input delay, but it's not too ridiculous. But you are getting the Saturn version. You're not getting the actual arcade version. Well, about a month or so after the console releases, it got released on Exa Label. Exa Label has got the original arcade one as well, and it's got the special mode, and it's got the Exa Label mode. The original game, you could loop it 4 times. Because every time you do a loop, it loops again, but you start at the next level up, so you start level 2 and so on until there's only a couple of levels left, and you play through it. I've never actually managed to do all the loops mine, but that's how it works. But in the exclusive Exa Label, there's one loop where you get literally the hardest difficulty on that loop, and it is super fun, the Exa Label. It has some changes like bullet cancels and various other things. You literally have to go back and watch my original review of it. It's probably the best way to do it, because it was fresh in my mind how it all works, because I don't own the Exa version, I only borrowed it. I borrowed it for a weekend and played it. But the Exa version is fantastic. I was loving it. I managed to do a 1cc of it after. Really fun game. But saying BatsuGun is a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. As you can see, there's 3 different ships with 3 different weapons. One's got like your standard spread shot. You've got this one with the electric weapon, and you've got one with more of a straight to firing weapon. But you can level up in this game. There's basically experience points you get for killing enemies. The higher experience points you get, the more bigger and badass weapons you unlock. In the Exa version, you can unlock them by doing bombs and collecting medals and things like that. So there's quite a bit of changes. But like I said, it was a while ago I reviewed it, and it's not totally fresh in my mind. I say go back and watch my review is the best way. But yeah, as you go up through, as you kill more things, you do more levels, you XP up, and your weapons get more and more powerful. And then you start getting things like homing fire added to the weapons. And this game is literally considered the first proper bullet hell arcade game. It's a really fun game. There's lots of scoring opportunities to it. There's secret things you can shoot on the levels, like you see a little bonus for there. And what that is, the little plane comes out of the hangar and tries to take off. If you shoot at the end of the runway, you get a big bonus. So yeah, BatsuGun is a really nice arcade game, which I put a bit of time into the Saturn version, but not so much the arcade one. But when I had this Exa version, this Exa version is fantastic. It's excellent. The changes they've done to it, the Exa mode, I think is better than the arcade one, which is, maybe controversial. Some people love the arcade one, but the Exa mode is really good. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, it's got the Exa version also had an upgraded soundtrack as well, different to the one that came on the home consoles Saturn version. That had like a completely rearranged soundtrack, which was quite nice as well, but it did sound vastly different in some tracks to the original. But the Exa version is very close to the original. They've just remastered it, and they've just added more to it essentially to make it sound a little bit sort of newer and more modern. But the original soundtrack is fantastic on this game. But yeah, unfortunately with this one being in one of my best games of this year, unless you're going to buy an Exa system, or you've got lucky enough to have an arcade near you that's actually got the Exa version, you're probably never going to be able to play it, which is a shame, because this version is really good. And as far as I know, with Exa games, they don't plan to release any of them in the home. They're like arcade exclusives essentially, because that's what Exa wanted, was arcade exclusives, with arcade exclusive versions with extra modes and things like that, which is what you get with this. So unfortunately, unless you've got the arcade one somewhere, or you can afford an Exa system in this game, which isn't cheap, you're probably never going to play it, unfortunately. But I would say this game is fantastic. The Exa version is amazing. I was loving it on the couple of days I borrowed it for. I played it a lot online as well. So that's BatsuGun Exa. Really good game. Like I say, if you want a bit of a more in-depth review of all the mechanics and how it actually plays, go back and watch my review of it, which I will link in the description for you to go and have a look at it. But yep, so that's BatsuGun Exa, guys. So we'll move on to the last game now, game number 10. Right guys, the last game in my best shoot-em-ups of 2023 is GanaBlade for the PC. This is a vertical scrolling shmup in a very 8-bit NES style with NES style music essentially. This game is less than a fiver, but it's a really good shoot-em-up. I really enjoyed it. You can play in 2 players, 1 player, that's pretty much it. Once you've gone through the levels, you can choose a level to start on, so you can sort of use it as practice, but it hasn't got a proper practice mode. So we'll start this up. So you've got a couple of difficulties, normal and hard, and you've got an EX mode and EX retro. The EX retro is the hardest mode. The EX modes basically cut the shop out. There's two ships to choose from, both with 3 different weapons each ship. And there's a secret ship, so there's 2 cheats in this game. Well, one's a cheat, one isn't. If you press L and J together, you unlock a Type C ship, which is very nice. And when you're in the store, if you want to cheat in the store, if you press Z and B together, you get 9999 credits. Basically, the store then is used to buy new weapons, because that's how it works in this. You shoot enemies, you get coins and stuff. At the end of a level then, you get a shop and you can upgrade your weapons. So you can cheat in the store, but if you do, your score won't count. So it's up to you. So there's multiple levels. You work your way through the levels and then you fight a boss, big sort of boss level at the end. So say this game is you got to auto the bomb. When you collect the bomb, when you get hit, it will auto bomb, or you can choose to use that bomb. It's up to you. But once the bomb has been used, it'll take a little while for it to recharge. So you also get options. So I got the options now. This will show me the different type of firing you got. So this is basically number 1 firing. As you can see, I'm killing the enemies and then getting coins. This is number 2 firing, which explodes. But each of the ships have got 3 different firing modes. You have one other thing on this game as well. There's little icons you'll see on the side. You see like little cute like cat icons. Only one of your weapons will be able to shoot that cat icon, and those icons give you more gold, essentially points for gold. So I think I give you a point. There you go. So you get a bit of a gold bonus when you pick it up. So ideally you want to be on that weapon to get those goals. So at the end of the level then you get basically to pick a shop and pick it upgrades. More money, more upgrades you can buy. If I bomb, which I haven't got a bomb at the moment, it's still charging. See, I got another charge at the bottom, which is like a separate weapon that you can charge up. You can make the bar bigger on that weapon as well. That was on 100%. If I press the other button, I get like a power shot from it, which is very useful on bosses and to kill enemies that are quite powerful. And that will power back up eventually. In the shop then you can buy an upgrade, make our bar bigger so you can use it more than once essentially. Sometimes you get these bits on the floor where you shoot, they just keep chucking out coins continuously. You want to shoot them and basically hover pretty close to them so you get loads and loads of coins. So now we've collected the P icons, that bar at the bottom with the special firing is powering up. And I'll be able to use it again then. The other thing of using that weapon, it does wipe out a lot of the bullets as well. Here we go, I'm going to use that weapon. I'm going to use my bomb if I've got one. No, I haven't. I'm going to use that as a bullet cancel as well. And that'll stay active for quite a while. The good thing about this is if you do power this this weapon up, as you can stay in that mode for a lot longer, which will come in handy later on in the game, or on higher difficulties. So basically I've gained 744 coins. So then I get choose just to buy on what upgrades I want. So there's your upgrade tree. You can see there's quite a lot of maximum power levels. So I'm going to buy one of them. I'd say pretty much your power max, well, your HP and your your weapon power level are pretty much the most important ones. The other ones you probably never use the speed, and these two, power up max and versus bomb, are handy to power up when you get the extra cash. So I haven't got a full amount of pods left yet, so I've still got a bit. Homing fire, the green ship has got a homing fire as well, which is incredibly useful. So this is a really nice fun game and cheap game as well. It just goes to show that you aren't going to pay a lot of money for a really good shoot 'em up. The guy who made this is also making like a Contra style game next, which looks really interesting, and there's a demo out there as well, so you can go on Steam, go to this game, and then you can link to the developer, and you can see a second game and give our demo a try, which I'm going to do later. Let's say on the high difficulty levels, obviously this is harder. You get revenge bullets as well, which makes the game even harder again. And the game's not stupidly hard, like it's a pretty decent difficulty level, I would say. And then obviously, you know, the harder you get, the more better shoot 'em ups you are, the more you're going to really enjoy it. Especially in the mode without any shops or anything, you pretty much get full power, and you don't have to upgrade. But there's no shops, and it's harder with revenge bullets. I do like the music in this game as well. I think the music is really good. And the other thing I would say is every ship on you, every weapon type for that ship, I would say is really useful. I don't think there's one weapon on you that isn't useful, except for it will force you to use that one weapon type, so you can get the little cat icons. That was a HP up. Like say, if you look at the top left, I do have 3 HP, which is essentially your lives. So if I get hit 3 times, that's it, game over. But you can upgrade that in the shop. Which is, like I said, one of the more important upgrades, I would say. It looks like this ship can actually uncover all of the cats, doesn't matter what weapon you got. That's useful. I've only literally just found out about this, how you unlock the third ship. I didn't realise it was a sneaky code you got to put in. Well, 2 button presses. L and J on the player select screen. This weapon's quite handy as well, the way it bursts back and shoots everything behind it. We'll get to the second boss, show you that, and then we'll call it. So I got hit then, lost my bomb, have to wait for it to charge back up now. These things on the floor, I forgot they continuously fire. For number 2 weapon. Right, I've got my power weapon charged at the bottom. idea to deal with these first on the sides. You can deal with the main. Use my power weapon on it. Cancel any bullets. Make sure I move out of the way of the bullets when it runs out. So it's a really nice little bullet hell shmup. It's got some good difficulty options, and you know, for the price it is, you can't fault it really. It's like £4, something like that. Anyway, guys, that's GanaBlade. As the boss goes down, you can imagine this would have been like a later sort of NES game, maybe. Obviously, a little bit of cuts down. So that's GanaBlade, guys. So, out of the 10 shmups that I've shown, which is my favourite one this year? It's a tricky question, to be honest. I think the Graze counter and Star Gagnant stand out quite a bit. So does DoDonPachi Daioujou. Savant Ascent is a really interesting game with the dual stick shooter, and the upgrade to Kaikan is amazing. So it's a very tricky one. Looking at the list, I would say probably my favourite games. I'm gonna say top 3. Let's go for top 3. So I would say probably in third place. It's probably DoDonPachi Daioujou, the new one, Blisssfull Death. I'll chuck that in third place. In second place, I am going to say, like I said, this ain't easy to work this out. I'm going to say Kaikan. The update to Kaikan. What a fantastic update, especially for the price. Literally like £4. You can't argue with it. And game I've kept coming back to a lot as well. Really, really fun game. So Kaikan number 2, and number 1, I'm going to say Batsugun Exa. I loved Batsugun Exa. I thought it was amazing. I literally played it to death over the weekend. I had access to it, and if I'd own an Exa system myself, I would buy Batsugun Exa. It's a really, really good. It's just a shame it's never going to come to the home. But you know, you can't go wrong with the 10 games I put in this list. They're all good and well worth picking up. There's a couple of honourable mentions I'll chuck in there. Which I didn't put in here, was the Toeplan collections on the PC. For the money, I think they're pretty good. For the money, pretty decent. They may have used some weird ROM revisions in some of them, but they've got a lot of nice features to them, and there's a lot more to them than in the archive releases. So if you've got a PC and you like Toeplan games, the Toeplan collection's pretty well worth getting. And Toeplan Arcade 2 on the Evercade. Can't fault more Toeplan games. And this is a bizarre one I'll chuck out there, is Tactical Surgeon Fighter Nanoforce on PC. Really weird, interesting looking game that I was tempted to put in top 10, but I think the other game's trumpet, to be honest. But it's an honourable mention, so it's Tactical Surgeon Fighter Nanoforce. That's an interesting game as well. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed my best shmups of 2023. Hopefully next year you'll have some more interesting games come out. I know there was a couple of essentially remade games in here that have been released in the past, quite a few actually when you look at the list. But hopefully next year we'll get more brand new shoot-em-ups to chuck in there. So I'm looking forward to Terryang Games 3D shoot-em-up, which is coming out in January, I believe. And where I got Graze Counter GM, there is a Graze Counter 2 coming out. I'm looking forward to playing that as well. So we're just going to have to wait to see what else comes next year. So happy New Year, guys, and hope you enjoyed the list and have a good one, and hopefully there's more shmup in next year and there's some really good games released. So cheers for that. Bye now.